Market opening on our collab show between Business Today and India Today TV. Just after 9, time to count down to market opening. Let's take a look at what's hot in the corporate and financial world this morning. Core retail inflation in the US dips to a 4-year low, gives Wall Street the push it's been looking for the past 3 months. US stocks jump on hopes of the biggest hurdle being removed for yet another rate cut by the Fed. Asian markets also up after yesterday's sell-off on tech woes. Precious metals again near their record highs with higher possibility of a rate cut in the US. Spot gold near $4,330 an ounce. Silver at $65.50. Platinum and palladium also climb in part due to industrial demand. 2 days, 2 big capital market reforms. A day after big decisions by the SEBI, the Securities Market Code Bill is tabled in Parliament. It repeals 3 existing acts to create a single framework for capital markets. The bill boosts ease of doing business and proposes a charter by SEBI to protect investor interests. Donald Trump finally prevails on TikTok to sell its US business. Consortium of Oracle, Silver Lake and Abu Dhabi's MGX will own 45% of the Chinese company's subsidiary. Rest of the stake to be held by owner ByteDance and its American affiliates. The new ownership is effective 22nd of January. Reports hint at an ownership overhaul at the Kolkata Knight Riders. The Mehta Group, owned by Juhi Chawla and husband Jay Mehta, is said to be considering part sale of its 45% stake in the IPL team. The other 55% stake is held by actor Shah Rukh Khan's Red Chillies Entertainment. Well, the big breaking news at this hour, Bank of Japan has taken a move on its policy rate, hiking overnight rates by 25 basis points. Japan call rates are now at a 30-year high at 0.75%. The Bank of Japan says economy has recovered moderately and will raise rates if economy is on track. So that's good news coming in Japan, with the call rates now at a 30-year high, economy recovering moderately, and seeing a change on rates also coming in from the BOJ. Remember, it was the only central bank that had actually been lagging behind till now. So a little bit of respite there when it comes to what we're seeing in the BOJ. And separately, overnight on Wall Street, we've also seen a good turn with with the CPI actually showing some amount of moderation, paving way once again for anticipation perhaps of another rate cut, even though the Fed has indicated that that's not on the card. So that's why you're seeing green all across on global markets and Asia this morning. Let me also welcome in my colleague Shailendra Bhatnagar, Chief Analyst in Editor Markets. Shail, good morning. It sounds like at least global markets are in sync. It is Friday though, and the week has been quiet. What are we looking forward to in trade today?
Well, Aabha, good morning to you and to everyone who's with us on India Today at this point of time. I'm looking for a better Friday, primarily driven by a lot of positive news coming in on the IT space, and of course moves continuing on the long side in metals, in particular Jindal Stainless Steel, as also strong moves in the AMC segment. So while gains would be scattered across the market, specific sectors looking good, in particular capital markets, in particular metals, in particular IT, but broadly we are looking for a better day, a green day on Dalal Street today. Aabha.
All right, so looking for some amount of action. Look at the overnight trades also on those tech stocks. As Shail said, tech in action, AMC's in action. That's really where a large part of the market has been focusing so far. We are also seeing a green uptick in the pre-open. So the Nifty is up about 3/4% already in the pre-open trade, and we're counting down another 5-6 minutes to go till we hit opening as well. So let's take a look at tech and pull that up for you. We've seen overnight moves on Wall Street looking really strong. Accenture in particular also on focus. Q1 results saying that IT stocks and Q1 revenue is up 6% to 18.7 billion year on year for Accenture. They're retaining their FY26 sales forecast. Adjusted earning per share of $3.94, which beat the estimate of 3.72. Organic growth guidance for FY26 has been maintained at 0.5 to 3.5%, and advanced AI bookings are actually up 76% year on year at $2.2 billion. That tells you why tech is up overnight. New bookings at $20.9 billion. That's huge. And 33 large deals. So let me repeat that for you. We've actually seen advanced AI bookings up 76% year on year at $2.2 billion, and new bookings at $20.9 billion with 33 large deals in the offing. The company will discontinue separate AI metrics disclosure, and advanced AI is now embedded across nearly all client engagements. So that's huge, and it also tells you about the kind of evolution we're seeing when it comes to reporting, the integration of AI and overall strategy, and of course forward-looking guidance also looking extremely strong and on track there with Accenture. And that's why you're seeing those very strong moves overnight on tech in particular, and tech will continue to be in focus in Indian markets as well this morning. Mayuresh Joshi also joining us. Mayuresh, good to have you with us. We're seeing some cheer overnight. I remember we were speaking earlier this week and you said the markets are just too dull, or it was exactly a week ago. Today, do we hope to see some respite on the back of some of these positive global cues?
Morning, Aabha. Oh, absolutely. And again, let's not forget that our own inflation numbers are very much in line with estimates. And therefore, I think the supportive measures that RBI has done, the expectations as we head into the new year, what budget will offer, and obviously corporate earnings, which have remained very strong and resilient, point to a better second half, are all positive signs. However, I think the market has been languishing for some other related issues. But even technically, Aabha, if you look at the market, the PCR is now at 0.58. The VIX has probably come below that 10 mark. And therefore, I think volatility might be extremely low as we end the calendar year. But there is hope and optimism that as we head into Jan, things will be better for the Indian equity markets.
All right. We've got a lot of positive outlook coming in this morning. A few brokerage reports too. Let me run you through that as we count down to opening. We've got Macquarie on Lenskart with an outperform target price of 530 there from a Macquarie on Lenskart. Looking very positively on their strong growth track record and looking at market share expansion as well. We got Nuvama coming in with a view on Steel Authority of India. That's actually a downgrade coming in, and that's interesting because overall, of course, we've been watching a whole host of other names from the metal counter. So not too surprising that a downgrade coming in on this one. Plenty of better options probably out there. Jefferies on Voltas. Buy. Let's take a look at the target price, because another one that's constantly on our brokerage list. Target price from Jefferies is 1,635 rupees on a Voltas, and earnings in focus as well over there. Mayuresh, talking about earnings, that looks like it's going to be the next big trigger coming in. Which are the sectors you're going to be focusing in once we start counting down to some of those earnings calls in January?
So I think selective NBFCs might be on the radar because numbers have been relatively better off. Selective PSU banks where numbers have been better off. So that's where the financial space is concerned. When it comes to the broader markets, our own sense is consumer discretionary, specifically stocks in the hospitality space, hotels as an example, should continue reporting better numbers. It's a very strong quarter for them. Selectively, FMCG stocks with GST rationalization should continue doing well. You had a few results which were exceptionally good in Q2 as well. A few of the retail apparels manufacturers which are having a local presence should continue doing well. There will be momentum, specifically in select metal names, as you've probably seen. And select capital stroke infra stocks might continue doing well because that is where I think the capex leg will kick in as we head into the second half.
All right. On the F&O front, we've got some inclusions from the 31st of December. Swiggy, Wari Energies, Bajaj Holdings, Premier Energy. So just marking some of those for you. These will be included in the F&O segment starting from the 31st of December. Counting down now, just about 2 weeks to go, Shell. We are also heading in for opening ticks. Anything you want to mark just as we count down the last few seconds?
Well, Aabha, Nifty above 25,900 and Nifty Bank above 59,000, ably aided by the 1% uptick on the IT index. We are looking at a strong opening. We are looking at 25,900 being retained by the bulls on the weekly basis. This is the barest minimum to ask. Metals, IT, capital markets, and some part of AMC is doing very well in the market. This is what I'm hoping for.
Okay, let's pull up the opening ticks then. Looking at a strong start on the index today. And let's see if we've got that. Yes, well, at least 3/4% and a bit of green, contrary to what we've been seeing otherwise lately. 25,900, clean open start coming in there. Never know, maybe we'll get back towards 26,000 by the end of the day. At this point of time, let's take a look at some of the movers and gainers. IT is really where the strength is coming from. Almost 1% higher on the IT index right now, and looking extremely positive. Advanced decline ratio is more or less even Steven. In fact, maybe a touch skewed towards the advances. Nifty Bank is steady. Gainers there. Infy's top of the charts. Bharti is back in action. Adani Enterprises, another one coming in there. Let's take a look at TCS and some of the other tech majors. HCL Tech is up 0.8%, TCS as well. JSW Steel is looking good this morning from the metals packs. That one standing out there. Whole host of names there on the upside. Remember with Bharti and Singtel have amended their existing shareholders agreement. They've approved a final call to raise that 15,700 crore rights issue. So that's on Bharti there. So just marking that for you. And let's pull up a little bit more of the gainers this morning, even from the broader markets, because it is definitely a slightly more cheery market than we have been otherwise seeing. And also let's take a look at the AMCs and the kind of progression we're looking at there, because we've seen them run up post, of course, all of SEBI's new norms. There you have it from the Nifty 500, ITI, BLS, Divi's Labs, some of the gainers on your screen. And let's pull up a few more. Max Healthcare, Intellect Design, Tata Elxsi. So some of those healthcare pharma names are standing out. Midcap IT continues to stand out as well. Sterlite Tech, Prism Johnson, a few other names there. And we'll pull up some of those AMCs for you as well. Shell, what are you tracking?
Well, a century on the Nifty in the start of the trade. This is looking really good, and it's driven primarily by the IT space, which we've been bullish for the last 3-4 days. So look at Infosys, 1.3% higher in strength, 17 points added to the Nifty. Reliance, which is the heaviest weighted counter, that is looking very good. And of course, TCS bringing it up 0.5% higher. What's pulling down the Nifty? None of them worry me except for ICICI Bank, which is flat, so nothing to be worried about. Advanced decline is super good, 1,500 shares versus 700. It's an easy twist to one. A nice deep shade of green on the Lal Street. All 19 indices in the green, and taking it away is the IT space. Just let me mark one record high, Ashok Leyland, Aabha.
Okay. Talking about some of the steel stocks as well, remember the government has imposed an anti-dumping duty on imports of cold rolled and non-oriented electrical steel from China, and that could also be because we have been seeing excess supply on that front. So that's the latest coming in on steel. But let's also pull up a Hindustan Zinc or a Vedanta, Nalco, because that's really where all the action has been of late on the back of those spiraling silver prices, copper prices and so forth. Today taking a little bit of a breather on a Hind Zinc at this point of time. Mayuresh, let me get some topics from you as the markets have opened and they're looking pretty good today.
I think a couple of stocks which are on our radar. One is APL Apollo Tubes. Our own sense is that the structural steel applications should improve drastically over the next few quarters and years. The kind of capacities that AP Apollo has, 4.5 million tons, they're expanding it to 6.3, 6.5 exit FY27, clearly gives it a leadership position. And therefore, I think expectations of a significant improvement in reported EBITDA per ton is something to be watched out for. The second aspect, Shell just mentioned Ashok Leyland. Commercial vehicles are expected to do very well in terms of data points that have come so far, and expectations of data points continue to remaining strong and robust. As a proxy, tire makers might actually do well. Input costs, specifically crude derivatives, with crude prices going down, have remained very, very stable, creating that resilience in terms of EBITDA margin performance. And the kind of mix that JK Tire, as an example, has, or Apollo Tires has, specifically skewed towards replacement and a large part coming through truck and bus radials, along with the replacement market having a lion's share, would mean better realization and better margins. So I think CV doing well, tires supporting the CV ecosystem might start coming back with a bang as far as earnings are concerned.
Okay, so looking at tires, looking at CVs, and that's an interesting pocket there. Let's also pull up some of the IT names, some of the telecom names. These are the newsmakers right now. I just want to run through some of these. And then Mayuresh, take your pick of what you want to talk about. But IT cooling off a little bit from the kickoff of the session right now. But within the IT majors and looking at Accenture's commentary, if we are to perhaps take a bet basis on how some of these majors are adapting to AI and integrating it in their overall strategy, that could perhaps be really where the magic lies. What do you say, Mayuresh?
No, more or less in line with estimates, Aabha. But again, I think you're probably heading into a seasonally weak quarter with furloughs, Christmas holidays, Q4, where a large part of the discretionary spending will get decided. And therefore, I think my own sense is looking at commentaries, looking at the innovations that specifically large cap IT players will need to bring about their business models as far as AI is concerned, upskilling of their employees. The commentaries have remained stable so far. And the business would continue, but it would not compound, in my opinion, at least over the next 2 quarters. Putting this entire perspective in context, I think mid-cap IT companies have delivered better commentaries, though valuations remain expensive compared to large cap. I think that is where the momentum and growth might continue, in my opinion.
Okay. Good call there, Mayuresh. Okay, let's also pull up Bharti again. Remember, I mentioned that Bharti has approved the final call to raise the 15,700 crores via rights issue. Now, they've actually issued a call of 401 rupees 0.25 paise on the partly paid shares. And the effective record date is 6th of February. The call payment period is 2nd to 16th of March. So that's on Bharti Airtel for you. And, of late, Mayuresh, we've of course seen Bharti in the news for several reasons, tweaking its strategy, looking at further market share. And strengthening strategy, looking at market share, a lot of fundraising activities going on and so forth. What's your view on a Bharti right now? I mean, I know that some would prefer to take the Jio play via Reliance, but does Bharti still seem like a strong bet for you at these levels?
Yeah, so if anybody has Bharti, they should continue holding 2 things, Aabha. I think one, in terms of the rate hikes or tariff hike itself, I think there might be more to come. And that is going to be extremely supportive, both in terms of cash flows as well as deleveraging of the balance sheet. The second element in terms of telecom as a space itself is subscriber market share and revenue market share. So on both these parameters, Bharti along with Jio have maintained their leadership stance. And obviously, I think if you look at the 4-player industry, Vodafone Idea is restricted to certain circles. BSNL is restricted to certain rural areas itself. And therefore, I think the SMS and the RMS share would continue. As far as its African operations are concerned, I think there is a stable showing out there as well. And therefore, as all these things move in perspective over the next few quarters, and as deleveraging probably happens, because a large part of the capex has been embedded onto the balance sheet and has started getting recognized on the P&L as well, I think that should start creating better numbers going forward as well. So I think anybody holding Bharti, I think, should continue holding. I think it's a direct link to the telecom space.
In fact, the Airtel partly paid stock is up about 10% right now on the back of this news. Remember the dates. The effective record date is 6th Feb and the call payment period is from the 2nd to the 16th of March next year. So keep an eye on Bharti. Clearly, lots going on there. Okay, let me also pull up Meesho for you, because Meesho has, in fact, it doubled from its IPO price. And we saw this phenomenal move on this listing. And it's a very recent listing, as you know. Today, some profit booking setting in. It's now down 4.5%. And I dread to come to you, Shell, because I know how cynical you are about these new age listings. But you did say to watch out.
Yeah, Aabha, I'll just tell you the level of losses in Meesho. All these research reports need to be taken with a bag full, forget a bag full, with a truckload of salt. They are distribution points. And for a company that is not on the path of profitability, one has to be very, very careful. Down 4.5%. Let's see how it goes. I won't stick my neck out on the long side, ever.
Okay, a quick call. Mayuresh on Max Healthcare, they're looking to invest about 1,000 crore in a Pune hospital, and the stock is up on that. It's not purely just one expansion. Of course, this seems like quite a heavy plan there, capital heavy plan there. But overall also, I think healthcare has been in focus, and Max, as one of the key players, has been, of course, strengthening its expansion plan and its offerings. So what would be your view on a Max Healthcare at this point, or would you prefer something else within the healthcare pack?
No, remain, anybody holding should continue holding. I think what they've got in terms of a strategic expansion is both brownfield and greenfield. Obviously, I think the brownfield expansion adds incrementally in terms of payback times and the incremental ROCs as well. But even greenfield expansions will probably add to the payback and ROCs. Having said that, with the existing capacities, the kind of parameters that they're probably reporting in terms of average revenue per operating bed, the average length of stay, a large part of their presence is in urban centers, and therefore I think medical tourism aids them quite significantly. Again, decent story, good story, expectations in terms of healthcare as a space itself. The organized pledge should benefit going forward as well. So anybody holding should continue.
Great. In fact, we're seeing a lot of action across pharma today, pharma, healthcare, few newsmakers as well from that. Max, we just touched upon. Biocon has received an EAI with voluntary action indicated status from the US FDA for a New Jersey facility. So that's Biocon, but the Nifty Pharma is actually trending higher. There's also news coming in on Trump with regards to the pharma pack. I'm just receiving that. Trump has signed an FY26 NDAA law, including a Biosecure Act. We'll get more details on that, but perhaps triggering also the move we're seeing, for instance, in a Divi's lab this morning. We've been looking at that, and Divi's is up about 3% right now. So we'll try and get you a little bit more on what this will mean for some of these pharma majors. The Finance Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman, has introduced the Securities Markets Code Bill in the Lok Sabha. The bill signals a major reset in the country's capital market rule book, aiming to consolidate three key securities laws: the SEBI Act of 1992, the Depositories Act of 1996, and the Securities Contracts Regulation Act of 1956 into a single modern framework. The bill promises simpler governance, tighter investor protection, and smoother regulatory coordination. The proposed code also seeks to strengthen SEBI, expand its board, and sharpen conflict of interest norms. The bill has now been sent to the Parliamentary Standing Committee on Finance for scrutiny. All right, Mayuresh, the reform agenda is clearly on track. A bit of good news from Trump this morning as well, and we're still counting down to the trade deal being announced, and we're still hoping it is going to happen. With that in mind, where do you feel we're headed as we close out the year? Or are you now looking forward to January earnings and really saying that that's going to be the next key focus?
Well, absolutely. I think Q3 earnings will lay base for how Q4 or the second half and the annualized 26 numbers will play out. Not just that, Aabha, I think it will also lay base for how 27 numbers will play out. And already there are consensus calls that over the next 2 years, the base case scenario is for a 12 to 14% earnings growth, which is significantly higher from the higher single digits. Now, if you account for all that and you assume that in Nifty EPS estimates exit 27, there seems to be a reasonable number on that front going forward. And then you probably have a multiple done in terms of average of how the index has traded between 16.5 and 23.5 times. Even if you take an average of that on an FY27 exit, there is still a significant upside as far as the index is concerned. And therefore, I think the optimism in terms of how earnings will play out, what the budget will lay out in terms of fiscal prudence, liquidity measures that RBI has been very, very supportive about, and key macro factors remaining in favor, might mean that our underperformance with emerging and developed peers might actually reverse as we close this year and head into FY27. So again, a quote from our founder, which I've time and again mentioned, is that I've never met a successful pessimist.
All right. Thank you so much, Mayuresh. Have a great weekend. Thank you for joining us. We'll leave it there for now. Do stay tuned. We'll be back again at market closing to take you through the day's action. Thanks for watching. From overnight global cues to live Dalal Street moves, we decode what matters for your money today. From stocks to sectors to the top business news, we've got your morning game plan covered. Watch me, Aabha Bakaya, as I bring you the opening bell action Monday to Fridays, 9:05 a.m. only on India Today.
evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are starting Friday on a strong note. You have the Nifty, which is now adding to its newly found momentum, almost 0.5% higher, 147 points. 25,900 is firmly with the bulls. That's a very, very positive development as we lead into the weekend. Helping the way up is the Nifty Bank. 200 points higher, and more importantly the IT index 152 points higher. What is also looking good is the broader structure of the market. We see a strong advance decline ratio, 2000 shares, actually 2100 shares in the green versus 500 in the red. So it's a very easy 4:1. It essentially means that the market is off the block, and the Nifty is now making successive intraday highs even on the 5-minute candle, which is looking now really good. All 19 indices in the lead, led by the pharma index, 1.2% higher. 20 stocks make up the pharma index, 19 of them are in the green. And look at the advance decline ratio on the NSE 500, which is our broadest measure, 0.5% higher. 400 out of 500 shares are in the green. And in terms of sheer volume that is coming in the NSE 500, in terms of gainers, you have Bharti Airtel, 0.3% higher, top traded counter. News of a rights issue being announced. TCS, Infosys in top shape. Reliance 1.5% higher. That's a major contribution to the Nifty's uptick. If you look at how stocks are moving up, Reliance contributing 37 points to the Nifty, Infosys contributing 12, HDFC Bank 9 points. Now remember, these three are amongst the top 4 in terms of index heavyweight, so you needn't be worried about. Also, ICICI Bank is in the green, which is a very positive development. Therefore, you see the Nifty climbing 150 points now, and it is getting better and better. Record high on Ashok Leyland, Laurus Labs and Federal Bank. This is how it is, ladies and gentlemen. Let's now speak to Kunal Parar. He'll be giving his view on the markets. A quick view on Nifty at this point of time, Kunal.
Good morning, Sailjeev. And yes, today we are witnessing very good upside momentum, up by 150 points at 25,961, backed by some inflation data from the US market, and based on this even we are witnessing some good rally in the Asian markets. So this is the only reason right now that Nifty is giving a follow-up momentum of this inflation data. Now if we talk about upper side level, then strong resistance comes at 26,060 level, and downside strong support comes at 25,700. So since last many days we can say that Nifty has been trading between this range only, and if you want to see any particular direction, then Nifty has to give a break on either side level, either on a 26,060 or on a lower level 25,700.
Okay, what are your favorite stocks that you are looking at this point of sight on the long side?
Well, two stocks are there which looks very attractive to me. First is Voltas. Now, if we look at the Voltas chart, stock looks very attractive at this level. Stock has been trading with a strong support. Not only this, stock has given a breakout of its range-bound momentum. And yes, definitely, this is the stock which one can add not only for trading perspective but also for portfolio creation as well. Right now, stock is trading at 1410 level. One can get into the stock at present level with stop loss of 1370. 1370. If you talk about target wise, first target comes at 1414, 1440, and if stock break this level, the further upside would be there up to the level of 1490, 1490. So Voltas looks very attractive at present level, also for creating a long portfolio. And second recommendation is M&M Finance. Right now, we have been observed very good upside momentum in the M&M Finance since last many days, and I think M&M may start its further rally from the present level. Right now, counter is standing at 369. One can get to the present level with strict stop loss of 355. If you talk about target wise, first target comes at 376, and if stock break this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 391. So from my side, it's M&M Finance and Voltas.
Okay. In terms of volume busters, you have government company ITI, 9.6% higher. Remember, the entire telecom space is thick on the long side, led by Bharti Airtel, Idea Cellular, as also telecom equipment makers. ITI, the top gainer, 9.5% higher. Very heavy volumes, already 59 lakh shares have been traded. The second top gainer is BLS International Services, up 7% on very heavy 5-day volumes, which is 39 lakhs 50,000, as the Delhi High Court has set aside the MEA order barring it from tenders to India missions for 2 years. Remember, this is a visa processing company and has been doing immensely well on the markets. Other gainers include Granules India, Divi's Lab, Laurus Labs, I've already mentioned, a fresh high, and Newland Labs. So pharma in super top shape as far as the broader markets are concerned. Intraday high, MCX and BSE. Remember, MCX heads for a stock split 5:1 on Jan 5th, and therefore you see this very, very sharp run up happening. BSE 2% higher, K Fintech 1.3% higher. Kunalji, anything that catches your fancy at this point of time in the market?
Well, yes, but obviously, actually, we have been witnessing very good upside momentum, not only in the indexes itself, but yeah, few other stocks are there which looks very attractive at present level. And if you look up, if you look after Nifty next 50, then Lura looks very attractive at present level. It's up by 2%, trading at 1087. Since last many days, we have been witnessing some kind of nervous momentum in the reality sectors. But if you talk about if you talk about at present level, then amongst the other, I think Lura looks very attractive. During yesterday's trading session, it formed its a hammer candlestick formation with strong support, which was placed at 1045 level, and this was a support. Stock took the support of the size, and afterward it went up to the level of 1550. So we can expect some replicate momentum in the Lura at the present level. Technical structure looks very strong, very attractive. One can get into the stock at present level. The strict stop loss of 1040. Right now stock is trading at 1087. If you talk about target wise, then first target comes at 1125 for trading perspective, 1125, and if stock break this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 1185. And if anybody want to get into the stock not only for a trading perspective but medium term to short term, then yeah, we can see a very handsome momentum even up to the level of 1400 level. So Lura looks very attractive at present levels.
Right, Nifty 146 points higher, and Aabha joins us. Over to you.
We've got BLS International surging about 7% after the Delhi High Court sets aside the MEA order, barring it for tenders of India missions for 2 years. We're actually seeing an up move coming in on that as the Delhi High Court has set aside that order. Then you got Lenskart gaining 2%. Macquarie has initiated coverage with an outperform call on Lenskart this morning. So that one in news as well. Let's get a call on either of these from you, Kunal.
Well, if you talk about Lenskart, right now stock is trading at 421 level, up by 2.85%. And yeah, definitely, stock looks very attractive at present level, only for trading perspective, not for creating any long position for medium term to long term. Right now, stock is trading at 422. One can get into the stock at present level with stick stop loss of 405. If you talk about upper side target, the first target comes at 430, and if stock break this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 444. So yes, definitely, Lenskart look very attractive for trading perspective.
$940 for us. What is gaining strength is the IT space, 153 higher on the index itself, 38,780. And let me just mark the IT index in terms of winners. You have Infosys 1.2% higher, Wipro 0.5% higher, TCS persistent in the green, and of course Oracle Financial Services 1/3% higher. Kunal, what would be your top pick in the IT sector, if at all, on the long side?
Well, if you talk about IT, then we have been witnessing very good upside momentum across the IT counters, Infosys, TCS, Wipro, all the stocks are performing very well. But I'm not recommending any stock for trading perspective. But yeah, few stocks are there which looks very attractive for long-term portfolio creation because after making a high, all these stocks are trading below their 20 to 30% high low level. So this is a perfect time to create a long portfolio for a medium term to long term. And if we talk about Wipro, then it looks very attractive at present level. Right now, stock is trading at 265 level, and from the present level, at least we can expect somewhere around the 320 to 360 level. So yes, Wipro looks very attractive for creating a long term portfolio. Not only this, I think one should also focus on Infosys right now trading at 1643 level, just coming out of its range bound momentum, and it has given a breakout of its previous top which was placed at 1621. So I think stock has ignited its upside momentum, and based on this ignition, further upside would be there up to the level of 1860 to 1900. So not for trading perspective, but yeah, for long term portfolio creation, Wipro and TCS both Infosys both looks very attractive.
Okay, that's on IT. What about, some of the healthcare and pharma names, Kunal? Anything exciting to you there? We're seeing pharmas on an uptick, some news coming in from the US. So we've got Divi's Lab moving higher today. We've got Max Healthcare on expansion buzz. So anything from that segment?
Well, if you talk about pharma and pharma itself is up by 1% today, and among this pharma sector stocks, I think one should focus on Divi's Lab. Since morning, I have been observing these stocks. Right now, stock is trading at 6,574 level. If you talk about technical structure for this counter, then we may see a further upside momentum in this counter. Stock has given a breakout of its recent top, which was placed at 6,520. Not only this stock is trading above its 100 days moving average and has recently taken the support of its previous resistance, which was placed at 6,260 level. So multiple technical equations are there which are suggesting to get into the stock for creating long position. No doubt stock is up by 3.25%, but still I'm seeing some good upside momentum still left in this counter. So yes, definitely one can get into the stock at present level with strict stop loss of 6,500. And if you talk about target wise, the way stock has been trading on its daily chart, first target would be at 6,720, and if stock break this level, the further upside would be there up to the low 6,910. So amongst other pharma counters, I think Divi's Lab looks very attractive.
942, ladies and gentlemen. Strength across the board if you look at how bulls are reacting to the Bank of Japan decision to keep rates up and also inject inflation in the market. You have the Bank Nifty 161 points higher, and of course giving it company is the IT index. Let's also look at MCX. A view from you on MCX and Titan, Kunal. Strength on both counters. Where do you see them headed?
Well, if you talk about MCX first, right now trading at 10,340 and is trading above its top of 10,260, which it made a top of 15 December. So further upside would be there up to the level of 10,520, and if stock break this level, then further upside would be there up to the level of 10,800. So yes, this stock looks very attractive because stock has been trading above its all long-term moving averages. Not only this stock has been trading in its upper rising channel formation as well. So technical structure looks very attractive for creating a long position with strict stop loss of 10,000. And if you talk about Titan, this is the stock where one can get into the stock not only for trading perspective but also for long-term portfolio creation, because whenever stock make its decent fall, I think that would be the perfect time to get into the stock. And recently stock made a low of 3,300, and at a time we were continuously suggesting to get into the stock for long-term portfolio creation. Again, we are suggesting the same. Right now stock is trading at 3,934. For trading perspective, one can keep SL at 3,880. And if you talk about target wise, first target comes at 3,960, and if stock break this level, then one way rally would be there up to the level of 4,020.
Okay. All right, we'll leave it there for now. Thanks for joining us, Kunal. Decent start to trade today, up about 0.5% and looking good on the Nifty. We'll be back shortly. Thanks so much for watching.